Imagine you're sitting in class, right in front of you is that cute girl you want to talk to, and you finally got that confidence to talk to her, but the only thing that comes out is ums and stuttering and just weird speaking. And the girl starts to think like, what the fuck is he talking about? Why is he speaking to me? Why is he so weird? You see, it's very important as a man that you're able to speak correctly, to speak concisely, to bring your point across. Because if you keep stuttering and the arms and not getting like to your point, you seem weaker. And in like the hierarchy of men, you seem more lower down, you seem more beta. And I know I hate that word like alpha and beta, but you truly seem more weaker as a man if you're not able to speak correctly. I was in your position, bro. I tried speaking like a fucking giga chat, but the only thing that came out is stuttering, falling over your words. The first tip that I have for you is to just listen to great speakers. And I can give you always the example of Hamza, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Alex Hormozy, people that can bring their point across that you learn from, especially like people that you look up to, like exactly like Andrew Tate. Like I know it's in prison right now, and maybe you like him or you're not, but if you're able to listen to them, analyze how they're speaking, where they're putting like the pronunciation, how they go higher, where they go lower from their tone, you can truly pick up that style. But I'm not meaning you should copy that, because copying doesn't work. The problem with copying is that you're never able to replace that. You'll always be gonna be like a cheap copy of the person that you're trying to copy of, that you're trying to speak like that from. And as well, if English is not your main language, like mine, there's a big advantage of just listening to them, especially when you're listening to English, because you're speaking the language, you're listening to it, you're learning it, and you're actively like learning new words you can use in speech, in discussions and conversations, even if you're recording your own videos, bro. But if you never like analyze the speech patterns of some persons or like listen to like bad speakers, you're never gonna become better. You're always gonna be lower than that. When you're analyzing a speaker that you like, it's always important to look at the speed, how fast they're talking, how slow they're talking, as well as the tone of the voice. Because if you have a very fast speaker and a high pitched voice, that sounds really weak again. But if you have a fast speaker with a really deep voice, powerful, brings that point across with strength, then it's good again. You truly have to like find a yin and yang combination of that style of speed and tone, as well as how they bring their point across. Is with like a lot of hand movement, is with their face. Speaking is not just with your mouth. I know the whole verb speaking is about your mouth, but in terms of communication, it's always about your face and your hands. So if you want to truly be a strengthful speaker, a strong speaker can bring the ideas that you have in your brain through your mouth to the other persons. You have to be able to speak with your whole body. So look at their body language when they're speaking, if they're sitting down, standing up, or like when they're speaking to a crowd or just one person or like two persons in a room. Look at them how they're doing it, and as well how they end their sentences. Maybe you haven't noticed, maybe you have, but strong speakers like Hamza or Tate always end their sentence mostly like a deeper tone. They always lower their tone, like the pitch of their voice when they get to the end of the sentence. Because if you have put like that higher tone at the end of the sentence, it's gonna sound much more weaker. So if you want to truly be like the most powerful speaker in the room, try lowering the tone at the end of a sentence. You see what I just did there? Try that same thing. And when you completely analyze like your favorite speaker, what I recommend you to do is literally sit in a room, like a closet if you have the space for it. Get your phone, bro, and start recording yourself telling a story of your day and listen to it. If you seem to stumble over your words, that's normal. You need practice. Speaking is a skill that you need to level. But see how like you're pitching your voice, how fast you're speaking. Because if you're speaking very fast and you stumble over your words, it's gonna sound much weaker. The second way, which is probably gonna be much harder for you, is to forget all the ums. And every fucking like content creator that tries to help you when speaking is just like, oh, forget it. Just forget that it exists. The problem is you can't. Your body is so fixtured to it that you need the ums when you can't seem to grab the words that you need, that you can't remember the sentences that you wanted to say. But what I did is instead of using I replace it by how should I word this? How should I say this? Because it's much more smooth. Seems it's much more professional. You're not stumbling with us. You're saying, how should I word this? How should I phrase this? Or stuff like that. Instead of using like filler words with like ums and as, use like filler sentences, filler like complete sentences. It's gonna give you a big advantage to other speakers because you're not umming. And it's gonna take a while to get accustomed to that speaking in a way without the ums, but just with the filler sentences, with like how should I phrase this, blah blah blah. But trust me, bro, invested time. You're leveling up your skill of talking every single word you're speaking, bro. Number three, let's go back to the speed again, like the speed of speaking. And a lot of people say, especially like content creators, oh, you must speak in a slow way or you're gonna sound like a pussy. Bro, like people like Andrew Tate, when they're speaking, when they're bringing a point across or telling a story, They like to speed up, but the problem is if you're fast, but you can't speak smoothly, if you keep stuttering, then it's a problem. Then you truly sound like somebody that can't speak. Like a little bit of a bitch, to be honest, bro. So what I suggest you to do is try to find your own speed which you're comfortable with. And the problem is when you're in like a nervous situation, like speaking to a cute girl, speaking to a crowd, it's gonna be much more difficult to regulate that speed. When then that nervous situation happens, that like anxiety introducing a situation, like when you're speaking to a crowd happens, that you're gonna speak perfectly, that's not gonna happen probably. So if you want to truly like skyrocket like your speech speed, go into that anxiety inducing situations, like go talk to that girl, go talk to a crowd. Like maybe you're in class and you have to present something and you're fucking biting your nails, you're nervous. Go in front of there, speak, and if you stumble your words, it happens, bro. Everybody stumbles over your words, but not like the biggest like strong men. And if you want to become like those, you want to become a strong man that is able to speak like a truly powerful man, then you need to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, bro. Number four, and this might be the weirdest advice you've ever heard about speaking, is tell a story in your notebook. Like literally write a story every day about what you did that day. And it might be the dumbest shit. It could be like you stumbled your toe on that morning. Try to make it like enjoyable to read or listen to, however you want to tell it. You can also do like an audio version of telling that story, but I suggest you to write that because you can then find your words, think about your words before you actually write them down. Because if you're speaking, a lot of people can't seem to think while they're speaking. They can't seem to find the words first and then speak. It's always automatic. So when you're writing that down, you're training like your brain to, okay, first think, then write, aka then speak. That's the greatest advantage. And then maybe if you have a friend at home, you can tell them a story. And then you can ask them for feedback. Hey, how did you find that story? Was it funny? Was it scary? Whatever story you're telling. But try to speak it smoothly with the analyzation that you did and the speed that you learned, that you practice. But try telling a story, bro. Number five, and this is the most easiest trick, especially if you're already doing it, drink a lot of water. Speaking is very hard for your body to keep doing for a long while, especially if like doing recording videos or like speaking to a crowd for like 20 minutes plus. Your mouth uses a lot of water to be able to make you speak, especially like your vocal cords that needs a lot of like lubrication. And I know how sus it sounds, but trust me, if you drink water a lot, it's gonna make you much more smoother when you're talking, much more like paceable, if you know what I mean. And as well, it's much more easier for you to speak because you don't have like that crusty voice that like itching in the back of your throat when you're speaking. It's more fun because it's smoother, it doesn't hurt your throat. So combined, when you say you want to practice today on your speaking, get a bottle of water, sit in a room, analyze the speech pattern of some person you like to listen to, a strong speaker, a really good speaker, analyze them, then try telling a story or like record yourself speaking, and every morning or every noon, midnight, or whenever you want to write that story down, do it. And trust me, bro, you're gonna have great progress. If you like this type of content on helping you develop as a man, subscribe. If you have any questions or you want to critique me, bro, write them in the comments, bro. I see everything. We're gonna grow together as a team, bro. See you in the next video.